guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to another reading vlog. The focus of today's video is getting through my May TBR. It is the 13th of May and I have not read a single book on my TBR, so that is my goal for this video. And I have 6 books total here that I would like to get through before the end of the month, which is probably not going to happen, especially because this month is very busy. I'm moving June 1st, so the books that I have, we have Icebreaker, which I just started today, Where the Crawdads Sing, Twisted Love, Book Lovers, and Scythe. And then we also have the 3rd book in the Agatar series, which is back there. It is the pink book, A Court of Wings and Ruin. I just started this today. I'm on page 22 right now. This is Icebreaker by Hannah Grace, and this is a romance book. It is a hockey romance. So far we have 2 main characters. We have Anastasia. How do you say that? Anastasia? Is that how you say it? I don't know, but anyway, she is one of the main characters, and then I'm guessing Nathan is also another one. We have both of their points of views. She is a figure skater and he is a hockey player, so they both go to the same college together, and they just found out that the hockey rink has been like completely destroyed. We'll see what happens there. I think they have to share like the same hockey rink. I'm pretty sure that's what it says on the back, or at least what I've heard. I'm gonna continue this. I will keep you guys updated with my thoughts and everything. Let's see how many books we can get through. Hi guys, I wanted to update this vlog. I did continue reading Icebreaker. I got to page almost 50, which is not that far, but honestly this book is pretty big. Like, it's 400 pages and the words on the page are really small. I don't know, I feel like I'm not reading through it that fast, but so far the 2 main characters have just met. I think they've seen each other, but they actually like talked for the first time. And so Nathan invited Anastasia. He invited her to one of his parties because they have found out that they have to share the rink together. So Nathan is trying to like become friends with the team. Since they have to share the rink, Nathan is like, well, if we have to share it, we might as well become friends and make it go a little bit smoother. Anastasia also has a best friend. His name is Aaron. He figure skates with her. They're like partners. Nathan thinks that he is her boyfriend, but they're really just like friends. But he's very protective like a boyfriend, so I feel like that's gonna become an issue, but that's where I'm at so far. And then I also did end up starting this book on audiobook. I started Where the Crawdads Sing, and I'm pretty sure that I've literally started this more than I thought that I did. I think that I thought that I was only like a chapter into the book, but as I was listening to the audiobook, I was like, wait, this is really familiar and I feel like I've already read this. So I think I got into like chapter 3, because once it got to chapter 3 I didn't know, or I didn't recognize anything. So we have this big family and they live at this house. They have like a little marsh by their house that they go to, like a little creek thing, and the dad is very abusive, so the mom runs away and then the kids run away. Kaya is the only one that is left. She's kind of just trying to survive right now because her dad has, I think her dad has like been missing for a few days, so she's just trying to live on her own and survive on her own. Yes, so I'm reading both of these. I'm gonna read a little bit today. I don't know how much I'll get through, but I'm gonna continue both of them. I don't remember the last time I updated on my reading. I'm on page 104 at the moment. I want to kind of update. The figure skating team and the hockey team have to share a rink, and then they ended up having like a team bonding thing, like a speed dating thing, but obviously not like dating. But they each had like 5 minutes with each other, and they had to get to know each other and just like learn everyone's names, just get to know like the team, since they would be practicing together, like on the same rink and stuff, so I thought that was kind of funny. Two main characters have kind of like grown a little bit of a relationship together. This is just not a book that I would normally read. There's already been a scene in it that I just was not expecting, and I don't know, it's just not what I like normally read, so I don't know how I feel about it. Like, I feel like I don't have any strong feelings one way or another towards it. I'm not like not enjoying it, but I'm also not like loving it either. I'm kind of in the middle right now. Also with Where the Crawdads Sing, I have continued to listen to it. I am on chapter 6 right now, almost chapter 7. So they have found a missing body. It's kind of like dual timelines or dual perspectives. So we have Kaya's timeline, which is the main character, and then we also have the perspective there has just been a body discovered. I think it's a younger boy. His name is Chase. I think they found him in the river. They're kind of like finding his body and doing an investigation right now, so that's like a separate plot apart from Kaya and her like home life. She tried to go to school, she didn't like it. Those are my updates right now. So let's do an update on my reading. Guys, I DNF'd this at like 150 pages. It wasn't bad, but I was just not enjoying it, and I feel like I have way too many books on my TBR, too many books that I want to read to waste my time reading something that I'm not loving. And that is something that I've had to tell myself recently. I shouldn't have to force myself to read something that I'm not enjoying. Like, reading is supposed to be enjoyable. If I did not make book videos, I would not continue this book in general. So why am I gonna do it just for the video, you know? I know a lot of you wanted to see me read this and see my opinions on it. You guys know I don't love spice that much, and this book, so from what I was reading, was purely spice. I don't even feel bad about not finishing it because that's just my opinion. I'm allowed to have my opinion, and that's okay. I did not want to continue this anymore, and honestly I don't really know why I bought it, because when I did buy it I knew that there was a lot of spice, and I just have never read anything with this much, and it's just not for me, and that's fine. That's just how it is. Next up, this book was not on my TBR, but okay, so I DNF'd that book when I was at my boyfriend's house, like an hour away. So I did not have any of the books that I own or that are on my TBR. I didn't have my Kindle, so I went out and bought another book that I could read in the meantime, and this one I thought was perfect because it's short. I wasn't going to buy it. I don't know why, but I saw it and I was like, I actually want to read that. So I ended up purchasing Powerful. This is the novella after Powerless by Lauren Roberts. So this is, it's not the second book, it's just like a little novella in between. This tells the story of Adina, which is Peyton's best friend in the Powerless book. And yeah, this tells the story about her. So far I am to page 38, so I'm not even halfway through. There's only 200 pages, so I should be able to finish this pretty quickly. Honestly, I have not been reading that much. I don't know why. I've been spending a lot of time on my phone for some reason. So I'm going to read this tonight. We'll see how far I get into it, but so far I'm loving it. Yeah, my thoughts on Powerless. Honestly, I feel like when I read it, I rated it like 4.25 stars. And I don't know if I still feel the same way about it. I listened to a lot of it on audiobook, so I feel like audiobook is just so different than actually reading the physical book, and so many people love the book so much. I always feel so different about an audiobook for some reason, and I think it's because I'm not fully invested in the story, like not fully paying attention, if that makes sense, because usually I'm doing something else while I'm listening to it, and sometimes my mind goes off. So I rated it 4.25. I don't know if I still feel the same way about it. I remember it being a lot like Hunger Games, so I feel like I didn't like that very much about it, but either way, it was a good story. The end had me shook, honestly, and I am excited to read the second book. I think it's called Reckless. I don't know when it's coming out, but either way, I was eager to read this when I saw it. I'm glad I have so far. I really like it. We have Adina. She is the main character, and she is a seamstress. We have seen Peyton in this. This basically tells the story of Adina while Peyton was going into the trials. It does tell how they became friends, which I thought was pretty cool because we did not see that in the first book. And then we also have a guy that was just introduced. I think his love interest or his best friend has just been put into the trials, so they're both trying to go to the castle or wherever the trials are taking place. They're trying to go together so he can say goodbye to her one last time because he knows that she's not going to make it. Adina obviously wants to see her best friend Peyton, and that's where I'm at right now. I'm excited to continue it. I just got to chapter 13 on page 133. I'm loving this book so much. This makes me want to reread Powerless so bad because I feel like I would love it so much more. Like, the quotes out of this book are crazy good. Lauren Roberts is just such a good author, and this being literally her second book that she's published is insane. It's just so good. It's so good. Okay, let's do an update on Powerful. You guys obviously saw my reaction when I was reading this. Oh my gosh, it literally is giving me chills right now. I loved this book so freaking much, which is so crazy because granted I loved Powerless, but like thinking back to it, it's not something that I always think about. Like, I honestly don't even remember how half the story went. Like, reading this, I feel like I was able to remember a lot of it. I freaking loved this book so much. So badly want to go back and reread Powerless now, at least before I read the second book. But oh my gosh, this was so good. Oh, this gave me 5-star feelings, 100%. I really hope I'm not going to be in a reading slump now that I read it, but Lauren Roberts is just such a good writer. She really chose pain with that one. So, like, I knew what was going to happen. The quotes were so good. With that being said, I have no idea what I'm going to read next. So on my TBR, I still have A Court of Wings and Ruin. I don't think I'm going to read that book for a video because it's the third book in a series, and I feel like at this point, if I can't even talk about it without there being spoilers, so I'm just not going to include that, at least into reading vlogs. I probably will include it in like wrap-ups and stuff, but not in reading vlogs because that will just be too much information if you haven't read it. I have Twisted Love, which is the first book in the Twisted series, which is a romance. I have Scythe, which is a dystopian. So many people are commenting to read that book. Like, I'm getting so many YouTube comments, so many comments on my Instagram to read that book. That's definitely a high contender. That is the book that my boyfriend picked out for me when I was doing like my TBR jar video. And then I have Where the Crawdads Sing. I'm listening to that on audiobook. I thought about picking it up and reading it, but I might just continue to listen to it. Oh, I also have Book Lovers. Why did I completely forget about that book? I don't know. I've been super into fantasy recently. Like, I loved Asimov. I loved Powerful. Oh yeah, Once Upon a Broken Heart. I loved that book too. So I've been like kind of in a really big fantasy kick lately. All right guys, let's go ahead and do a bit of a reading update. It's currently Memorial Weekend, so I just got back from camping with my family. So I haven't read for the past few days. I did read a little bit today, not a ton, so I'm continuing to listen to this. I'm on chapter 38 out of like 54, I think, and yeah, this is getting very interesting. I feel like I have some predictions of what's gonna happen, and I feel like it's gonna be really sad, but I don't know. I'm really excited to watch the movie as well. I was talking to my mom about this today because this is technically her copy. So I was telling her that I'm finally reading the book that she gave me. I don't think that she's read this, but she's watched the movie and she said that the movie is really good. I just found out that the movie is on Hulu, so I'm definitely going to watch that. Maybe even tonight if I finish the book. I feel like I still have a good chunk left to go, but I'm packing, so hopefully while I'm packing I can listen to a lot of it, because like I said, it's getting super interesting, getting into the mystery part of it. Well, it's kind of been mystery the whole time, but we're really getting into it now. And then today I was reading Scythe. I'm on chapter 7 right now, so I'm about 80 pages in. This book is actually, the premise is really interesting. So basically this is kind of like the perfect world, like they have conquered death, so death really isn't a thing anymore. Like there's really no way to like naturally die, like plane crash, you know, cancer or whatever. There are the scythes, which are appointed. You have to be chosen to be a scythe, and they go around and kill people so the population doesn't get too high. So they have to meet like a certain amount of people that are killed every year so the population doesn't get too high. Kind of messed up that this whole book revolves around death. So we have our two main characters. It kind of starts off with both of the main characters in separate stories, and then we finally see them together, and they have been asked to become scythes. So they are kind of in training for that right now. That is all in the back here, so it's not anything given away. It's quite interesting and I am intrigued. So a lot of you guys seem to love this one, especially like over on my Instagram. I had a ton of people comment over there too. Those are the two books that I'm reading right now. I am hoping to finish them very soon. It's currently the 26th, and I'm hoping I can get through these books. The first book I will definitely be getting through. I'll probably finish it today, like I said. But the second one, I'm just hoping I can finish it this week. I'm moving this week and I have a ton of stuff going on, so I'm just hoping that I can get through it. At least get those two knocked off of my TBR. I really wanted to start War this month, but I don't even know if that's gonna happen. Okay, so it is later in the day, 9:45. I was packing and I did end up finishing Where the Crawdads Sing. I feel like it went by so fast while I was like doing stuff. I was on chapter like 38, I think. All of a sudden I looked again and I was on chapter like 52. And it just went by so fast. It definitely took a different turn than what I was expecting. If you don't know, it's like a mystery, murder mystery. There's this guy that has gone missing. We have our main character, Kaya, and she just kind of takes you throughout her life. She went to school for one day and kids were making fun of her because she didn't know anything. She never went back after that. So she doesn't go to school. We have two separate guys that we see throughout the story. I feel like listening to it was a lot better than maybe reading it would have been, because I started off very, very slow. It's very descriptive at first, so it's explaining a lot. It takes a lot to get into the actual story, but once you are in the story, I feel like I enjoyed it. I was actually very intrigued and very interested to see what happens. When I finished the book, for some reason I wasn't like completely shocked, but also like I thoroughly enjoyed my time listening to it. One thing I always do when I finish a book is I will go on Goodreads, so I will just go and look at the reviews to see how other people have felt about it. One thing about doing that is that you have other people's influence in your mind and like influencing your opinion on it. Like when I finished it, I was like, that was a really good book, I really enjoyed that, and then I went to go look at the reviews and there were so many negative reviews on it. Overall, I think the book has like a 4.33 stars on Goodreads, which is pretty high, but I did see a lot of like 1-star reviews. Obviously we all have different book opinions. It just goes to show like how much someone else's opinion can influence your own opinion on it. I feel like I've noticed that a lot with books that I've read, and then I'll like hear someone else's opinion and it definitely changes mine, because I'm like, oh, like I didn't think about it that way, but maybe that is true. I honestly did enjoy it. I feel like it was a well-written book. Anyways, with that being said, I really want to watch the movie. I did not have time to watch it tonight, so maybe I'll watch it tomorrow while I am working. I'm glad I finally got it off of my TBR, and I am excited to watch the movie. Anyways, I'm gonna continue reading Scythe tonight. I also went on Goodreads and added this to like my currently reading list, and I did not realize there are like 4 books so far in this series, so I am gonna have to pick up the other books if I enjoy this. Maybe the other one is like a novella or something, because it said 3.5 on it, so I'm like, that probably means it's a novella, but I'm gonna have to look more into it. But anyways, I'm gonna continue reading and I'll keep you guys updated with my thoughts. Hello guys, it is a few days later. I wanted to update on my reading with Scythe. I got to page 109, almost chapter 11. And at this point, I'm kind of getting a little bored. Just like at the point we're at in the book, it's very repetitive. I mean, the book is about killing people, so I don't know. I'm just getting a little bit bored. So I'm hoping that it's going to pick up. Obviously, a lot of you guys have said that you loved this book, and I'm sure it was for a good reason. So I'm gonna continue reading it. I have thought about listening to the audiobook. I'm gonna attempt to read tonight, and if I still feel that way about it after I read tonight, then I'm probably going to listen to the audiobook instead. That is where I'm at so far in the book, but I am gonna continue reading tonight. I'm not sure how long I'm gonna read for. It's already 10:15 right now. So let's continue. I just wanted to give an update before I finish this book. I'm on chapter 34. I think I have like 50 pages left, maybe like 40, I don't know. I've been listening to a good amount of this on audiobook. I got a little over halfway through, and then I started listening to the audiobook because I really want to finish this today. It's the last day of the month, so I want to finish this book. Yeah, I feel like this book definitely picked up. I think the last time we talked, I had said that it was kind of getting a little bit slow and just like very kind of boring and mundane, but it did start to pick up. I think listening to the audiobook definitely helped me to like kind of get through it a little bit more. There was definitely something that happened that I wasn't expecting. I'm interested to see how the story finishes. I don't have any other books in the series, so I'm gonna have to go get those. I'll at least get the second one, and if I like that, then I'll continue to get them. I definitely want to see like what happens in this series. It's interesting. It's different than anything I normally read. I so badly want to read Aquar, and I'm not gonna get to it until June. That's kind of sad, but that's okay. I also have a lot of scary books coming up that I picked for my TBR in June, so go watch my TBR jar video if you haven't seen it yet. I just posted that a few days ago, but yeah, it's gonna be quite fun. I'm gonna go ahead and finish this book. I will give you guys my final thoughts, and then we will kind of do an overview wrap up of all of the books that I read. A little different. I just moved yesterday, so I'm still trying to get everything situated. I wanted to give a final review of all of the books that I talked about in this video and read in this video. So the first book that I picked up in this video was Icebreaker. Unfortunately, I DNF'd this book at 150 pages maybe. Honestly, it's just not my type of book. I really want to try another hockey romance. I have read Powerless, which is the 3rd book in the Chestnut Spring series. That one was hockey romance, I'm pretty sure. This was definitely like a way spicier book than I was anticipating. This just was not my cup of tea, and I feel like that's fine. I have way too many books to waste my time reading something that I'm not enjoying, so that is how I felt about that one. And then I started listening to the audiobook of Where the Crawdads Sing by Delia Owens. This is a very, very popular book. I really, really enjoyed this book. It was definitely a lot different than anything that I've ever read, but overall it was a really great book. If you have not gotten into this, I highly, highly recommend it. I feel like it's just a good overall book. Overall, I gave this 3.5 stars. So this is a murder mystery. It's kind of two different plot lines. So we have present tense and then we have past tense. We're just trying to figure out what has happened to the guy that was killed or died. It was very, very interesting. I definitely would recommend to look up the trigger warnings before you read this because there are a lot of sensitive topics in this book. So up next, we picked up Powerful. This is the novella after Powerless. You guys saw my reaction to this. I loved this book so much. I rated this 5 stars. I'm definitely going to reread Powerless hopefully before Reckless comes out, so I'm really excited to do that. I'm so happy that I read this. I was honestly considering not reading it, but I'm very, very happy that I did. I loved it so much. 5 stars. And then the last book that I picked up was Scythe. I finished this on the last day of May, so that was perfect timing. This was another very different genre than what I would normally read. This was a dystopian. I found this to be very, very interesting. There were definitely points where it was kind of slumpy, like just not as interesting. So then I started listening to the audiobook and I think that that helped a little bit. I am eager to see what happens in the next book. The ending was honestly very shocking. So I feel like overall I would probably also give it a 3.5, maybe 3.75. I feel like I enjoyed it more than I enjoyed Where the Crawdads Sing, and that one I gave 3.5. So I would say like 3.75 stars probably. Those are all the books that I read in this video. I'm so happy that I got through a good amount of my TBR. I think that is everything. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I hope to see you guys in my next video. Bye guys!